Thank you, listeners, for joining us for today's edition of Elko Live here on KELK. As we like to do on Wednesday, we're catching up with Elko County news, and in for the county today, we have Brittany Marich, and she is our Elko County 4-H coordinator. We're sitting down just a little bit in advance to record today's program to accommodate my busy schedule, Brittany, so thank you for doing that and being here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
We are always delighted, and this is a busy time of year. It always is for extensions, so many different things going on. But we wanted to mention a real important situation in Elko County, in fact, throughout the state, about radon and how this gas can affect our health and well-being.
Yeah, so radon is actually the leading cause of lung cancer among non-smokers. And it's the second leading cause of lung cancer overall. So it's really prevalent in Nevada. We actually have a lot of radon gas, and it's naturally occurring outside. It's fine outside, safe, but it's when it comes indoors that it poses a threat. So we have
test kits
at the extension office, and they're free through the end of February. So please come get a test kit. It's really easy. You can do it yourself. You just put it in your home. I believe it takes about 48 hours. And then you send it in. You mail it into the address on the kit.
And it's all inclusive. You don't have to handle any chemicals or anything. You just put this little test kit out, and it comes with all the instructions. And it really has made a difference, Brittany, in neighborhoods, whether it's in the city of Elko or outlying communities, even places like Spring Creek. And what I understand from the presentations that your office and Jill Tingey have given over the years is that one home could test, negative or at very low levels, but then a neighboring property could actually test high.
Yes, because one of the ways that it can get in is through cracks in the foundation, leaky windows. So really, it is house by house.
So that's why these tests are very important. They're radon test kits available at the Extension office here in Elko. And where are you guys located, just for people's information?
We're at 701 Walnut Street in Elko. And you can call us. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30. And we're at 775-738-7291.
Excellent. Thank you, Brittany. Get those radon test kits. While you're in that, just grab one for a friend or a neighbor or a family member. We were just talking about, we always mean to do that. So swing on by and grab a radon test kit now through the end of the month.
Yep. We had a lady come in and grab about 6 one day because she has a group of friends that couldn't make it. And so she got one for everyone.
Perfect. And you can do that too. Those are free of charge while they last. So in your area, Brittany, 4-H is, you guys are just off and running, aren't you? So
yes.
Popular.
Which usually winter time is our slower time, we call it. But it has started, and it started with a bang. We are so busy. We have so much programming going on right now, which is great. And so what I always say 4-H isn't just animals. We are so much more than that. We have all kinds of different projects. But today I did want to highlight everything that we do as far as animal science, because we really do a lot. I'm sure that everyone's heard of the highly pathogenic avian influenza, or the avian flu, the bird flu. Whether you have poultry, whether you've seen increase in egg prices or just can't find eggs in the grocery store, I think everyone's being impacted right now. And so it really brings up the need for education on biosecurity, which is basically, how to prevent disease in animals and humans. So we have 2 wonderful local veterinarians that are going to be putting on a biosecurity workshop for our 4-H members. And they're going to be talking about biosecurity in general, and then all of the 4-H members can ask questions. And it's these same veterinarians that have also helped get 4-H members into a local vet clinic to shadow the veterinarians, so they can shadow all the procedures. So they've been really great. And so that's really exciting that we're going to have that for the kids. But that's just one of the ways that we offer education. Right now we have monthly workshops in rabbit, and then we also do have poultry, even though there is a ban right now. The Nevada Department of Agriculture has put out a ban on poultry shows indefinitely. We don't know when that's going to lift. But our poultry leader is fantastic. She's going to continue on with those workshops because they're classroom style, no animals. So they're going to continue to get that education that they need for when the ban lifts. And most of our workshops are led by wonderful adult volunteers. So, they use their own time. They come in and they just have a passion for teaching people. But it's really exciting when we have a 4-H'er do them. So right now we have a teen 4-H'er, Allie Preston, who is putting on livestock workshops and goat workshops. So the livestock workshops, that's livestock judging and livestock education, she's actually doing those every Friday. And then we have the goat workshops, which are twice a month. So she's doing a lot, and we're just very excited. She's actually taken the reins from her older sister, Randy. So, we're very excited and happy that she's doing that.
That's some wonderful leadership from Elko County 4-H Youth. That's really nice, Brittany, that they are willing to step back in, as you said, because their perspective, would think in the eyes of the students, matters so much because they're so close to it. They've done this before.
Yes. Yeah. So we have a lot of in-person workshops. We also have our state livestock 4-H coordinator, Rebecca. She's out of Churchill County. She's been putting on virtual workshops. She's done one on cattle and then one coming up on swine. And they're called Know Before You Show. So basically they teach kids how to choose their project animals, all of the education they need to know. And what she does is she finds highly skilled individuals to teach these workshops. So they take, a couple hours with the kids and they teach them all about these kinds of things.
And I would think, too, that, as you mentioned, both rabbit and poultry, Brittany, they are backyard projects. And so that's something that can be accomplished even living in city limits.
Yes. Yeah. So that's something that is easier for if you don't have a lot of money to spend on, say, a beef project or a horse project. Those are things that
they probably don't require the investment. Is that what we're thinking?
Yes.
Okay. And it makes a lot of sense because you're still part of that 4-H infrastructure. You benefit from the leadership and the chance to participate in something as a community.
And those projects take just as much work. So all of our projects, all of our animal projects, all of our projects in general, they take a lot of work. And so we're so proud of our 4-H'ers that have those projects and put the time in to come to the workshops, to do their own research and do their own learning. We just love that.
Elko County 4-H Coordinator Brittany Marich is our guest today as we're talking about the year that is underway. We know that there are particular times of the year, Brittany, to sign up for 4-H. I mean, is it open now, or what's the opportunity for someone who's kind of just getting into the swing of it?
So our 4-H year starts on October 1st. However, you actually can sign up for 4-H anytime. The best time is to sign up as close as you can to the start of our 4-H year. But yeah, right now is a great time because, like I said, we're just getting a lot of things rolling. We have our countywide leadership training actually on Saturday. And so what that is, that's a great event for if you're a new 4-H'er because it teaches you all about 4-H. It teaches you about meeting structure, parliamentary procedure, officer positions. And so that is actually led by our 4-H ambassadors. And they do fun activities with the kids. They have a little snack for them. And it's just a really great way to get into 4-H. But as far as signing up, they would just contact me. And what I usually do is I usually ask where they live because we have clubs all around Elko County. And I try to match them with the closest one to them and the best fit. Because we do have a couple project clubs, which if they're only doing that one project, then that would be the club that they would choose.
And it's always nice because if they don't have a project or their project doesn't match something that exists, Brittany, then there's an opportunity to create something.
Yes, yep. Sky's the limit. If you have something that, you don't really have access to anywhere else, please talk to me about it. And I'll do my best to find a leader that would be able to teach that. Or we have all kinds of curriculum at the office, and so it wouldn't be hard to do a workshop.
And most of these opportunities, as we talked about, there is an investment if you do choose a project, for example, some livestock, or maybe you're into robotics or photography, artwork, that kind of thing. But it doesn't cost to be a 4-H member per se, right? I mean, there might be some small dues, if I recall.
Yeah. The dues are $5 for a clover bud, and clover buds are our youth 5 to 8, and then $10 for a 4-H member. And those are ages 9 to 19, but that's for the entire year. So it's really affordable.
Very nice. And something else that we want to emphasize, when you, as a parent, invest in your time, your children's time, your students' time in 4-H, that comes with a lot of benefits too, mainly the security, because 4-H vets the grown-ups, the people who are involved in the programs.
Yes, yeah, we love our adult leaders. We are so thankful to them, and there's support for them. You know, we have all kinds of classes, trainings, but then also, you know, the important stuff like insurance and just the backing of UNR.
Mm-hmm. And that's really important to know, because 4-H is traditionally, decades now, for decades and decades, 4-H has been an important tradition throughout Nevada, not just in rural Elko County.
Yes, and while we're on that subject, we are always looking for new leaders. We need leaders ranging from people to put on workshops all the way to club leaders. And so even if you can only do a little, if you have expertise in something, please contact me. If you want to share your knowledge, share your passion, we would love to have you help us. Right now, particularly, we are looking for somebody who has a passion in cooking and sewing. And I'm trying to get the dog program going. I do have a couple leads, but if there's an expert on dogs, we could really use your help.
All right. Those are all opportunities to be leaders, adult volunteers within the community, whether it's in your rural part of the world or even located in city limits. I'm sure the outreach extends to places like Wells and Carlin. Just wherever there are people who want to be in 4-H, Brittany.
Yep, all around Elko County. I'm actually traveling to Owyhee next Friday, and so I'm hopefully going to be starting something out there as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. They have so many great students involved in, I believe, livestock projects there, and then some amazing artists. Some beautiful artwork has been coming from Owyhee from those students too. So, yeah.
Great. I'm excited to go out there.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna love it. It's a great community, Brittany. So we're talking about local Elko County 4-H projects. Again, there are opportunities for other adult volunteers. 775-738-7291?
Yes.
Okay.
And I did want to invite any children to our art club. You don't have to be a 4-H member. We just want people to come create art with us. That actually happens monthly. And so the next one is February 14th at the Extension office at 3 p.m. So all that we ask is that you call beforehand, and so we can sign you up.
Oh, great. And is that limited to any particular age or experience?
5 to 19.
Oh, fun. Okay, so if you want to make some artwork, because think about this, you could see your art on display during the fair, right?
Yes, there's the chance to, if you choose to enter, then you could put your art on display.
Yep, you can exhibit during the fair, but that's a great opportunity to learn more, to hone your art skills, or maybe to discover a new passion or develop a hobby, for example. It's a really cool opportunity. So we want to talk about all of this leading to what happens around the state, because Elko County 4-H has been an important part of what goes on and what inspires people around Nevada for decades.
Yes, we actually have a livestock series, a contest series that extends from Clark County all the way to Washoe County. And so we have, I didn't bring that list with me, but there's about 7 or 8 events that kids can participate in. And then the state contest expo is in September in Fallon. And so most of those projects, because they have not just livestock, they have shooting sports, livestock, fashion review, there's all kinds of different ones. You usually have to qualify at an event before you can go to a state contest. But yeah, so that's always happening. We actually have our livestock judging and skillathon contest coming up in March here in Elko. And we're inviting all FFA. It's actually sponsored by Kiwanis. So they sponsor the award for our 4-H members, and they have for the last, well, I've only been there for 2 years, but I think for a good while. And so we're so grateful to them. And yeah.
We want to thank Kiwanis, because I did not know about that connection, and I've been enjoying the Buckaroo breakfast during the fair for a long time, Brittany, and now I know that it sounds to me like part proceeds are benefiting these opportunities.
Yep, and they don't just sponsor the buckle, they also cook lunch for us.
Aww.
So all of the kids that participate, their parents, they provide lunch for us.
That's a great tradition. Thank you so much to the Kiwanis for continuing that wonderful support and collaboration with our Elko County 4-H. And whether you're embarking on those large projects, cattle, but there's also one for swine, and I know there's been a lot of conversation about getting more swine exhibited.
Yes, and that's something that we really don't have a lot of, which is why it's great that Rebecca, our state livestock coordinator, is doing those kinds of things. So if we don't have somebody, locally or somebody in person, there's always ways to pivot. There's always ways to find some new, different way to do it. And so we're grateful for her because kids across the state can look at that webinar, and there will be more to come with things like that.
Brittany Marich is with our local extension office that, of course, is administered by UNR. She's our Elko County 4-H coordinator. We've been talking about some of these virtual webinars, Know Before You Show, and it's nice to get in on a webinar because that helps you choose a project before getting into something that's such a huge commitment if it's not right for you.
Yeah, a huge commitment, a huge investment. You're going to want to know that you're choosing a good animal.
Yep, the right fit for you. So make sure you get in touch with Brittany, with our local 4-H, so that you can find out more. And we talked about volunteers. You have great community professionals you rely on, and 4-H staff, too. You have a small but dedicated office, don't you, Brittany?
Yes.
Including you.
Yes, and we love our co-workers. We love our staff. We love our volunteers. We couldn't do any of it without any of them. And like I said, the 4-H members get involved too, which is great. So I think that they're seeing their older siblings, they're seeing their parents, and it's actually creating this world of wonderful volunteers. And so it's just fantastic to see. But yes, our staff is amazing.
That's something that's always impressed our community, Brittany, is this wonderful legacy of 4-H developing youth leadership from a very young age. They develop confidence and poise. They can conduct themselves in various situations. They can speak in public. These are all skills that we need more now than ever.
Yes, I wasn't in 4-H growing up. I wish I had been. But I grew up in a very small town, and I had that thought that a lot of people have, that 4-H is just animals, it's just livestock, which I didn't have. So working in this position, it's amazing to see the difference in the young people, because I have worked with young people before, and the 4-Hers are on such a different level. Like you say, their confidence, their respect, their education, their knowledge, just the way they talk to people is wonderful. 4-H is such a great program to develop any kind of skills. We've had very quiet kids start out, and then they go through the programs and they meet people and they make friends, and they just come out of their shells, and it's so cool to see.
And this is open to anyone. Remember, Elko County 4-H is an opportunity, whether or not you have a hobby or a passion. Maybe you just want to get together with other young people. Maybe you're a parent, grandparent, caregiver listening, and you think, this might be a really good fit for my student, right?
Yeah, or somebody that, I always say the best kinds of kids to do 4-H are the kids that don't know what they want to do. Because when they join, they're going to see a list of projects, and they're going to be able to say, oh, that sounds interesting. Maybe I'll try that. But really, it's getting kids together. It's getting them talking. It's getting them doing things. It's getting them trying new things. One of our mottos is learn by doing. And so it's very hands-on, and that's what I love about it, because it just, like I said, it gets kids out of their shell. It gets them talking to each other, and it provides those connections that are so important.
What's funny? It just occurred to me too, Brittany, sitting here, is that a lot of the themes you're talking about are reflected in one of our most significant local leaders here in the Elko community, and that is the president of Great Basin College, Dr. Amber Donnelly. She was involved in 4-H for many years, and look at her role in leadership in our community.
Yes, that's amazing. Those are some of the things that, can come out of 4-H education. We're actually bringing some teenagers to Capitol Days. That's March 3rd and 4th in Carson City. And so these teens are going to have a chance to sit with legislators, talk to them, learn about civic engagement. So I'm really excited about that. That'll be my first time going.
Oh, that's fantastic, Brittany. And we will appreciate having you be our ambassador. So all of these qualities you're describing in these youngsters, they are learning by example. Your leadership and your vision for this organization.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
actually it trickles down. So I love that. The adults, they provide that leadership and those examples, and then the teens provide it for the younger members, and then so on and so forth. And I just love that cycle.
So if you're listening, you're looking for a trusted opportunity in the community for your student, your youngster, whether the student is homeschooled, goes to a charter school, private school, public schools, it doesn't matter. These are opportunities that are open to everyone throughout the county.
Yep. Anyone age 5 to 19 can join 4-H. Please contact me. We love having new members. And yeah.
That sounds great, Brittany. Brittany Marich is our Elko County 4-H coordinator. You can reach her directly at the office at 701 Walnut Street by calling 775-738-7291. And you also have an email.
Yes, it's bmarich, so BMARICH @unr.edu.
So another of the topics that we want to talk about in the time that we have, too, it's always been super popular. And in fact, we have gone on to see national winners in our shooting sports.
Yes. So that is just starting. Our shooting sports coordinator, he's starting the shooting sports safety classes. Anyone in the shooting sports project has to take a safety class. They have to take the class as well as a test. And that's just, making sure they have that basic knowledge, that basic safety knowledge. Obviously, it's very important in shooting sports. So those are through February. And then in March, we'll start the actual practices. So each person in a shooting sports project, they have to do 3 practices in their certain discipline. So we have disciplines such as 22 pistol, 22 rifle, archery, air rifle. We have all kinds of different ones. And in order to compete in the county competition, they have to have 3 practices in that certain discipline. So they can choose which disciplines that they want to compete in, but they just have to have those 3 practices. Then, if they qualify at the county competition, then they can go on to the state competition, and then on to the national competition.
And we have seen, as we just talked about, some amazing representation from right here in Elko County. Shooting sports is a huge tradition. It's all about safety, and our shooting sports coordinator is very well respected. We've always been really fortunate in that area, Brittany, is that these people care so much about youth and safety and wanting them to have this education.
Yes, and I would just like to go back to the fact that they do not get paid for these positions. These are volunteers. And they are putting so much of their time, especially Joe. He puts so much time into it. And you can just see the passion. You can see that they really want the kids to learn. And that goes for all of our shooting sports instructors. That goes for all of our volunteers. We actually have youth shooting sports instructors as well.
Very nice.
Yes.
And we talked about how inspirational that in closing that generation gap, these young students can really look up to their peers who are also fresh in 4-H.
Yeah, and it's important for them to have that experience. I mean, firearms are something that need to be respected, and they teach that, and so it's wonderful.
Yep. This is rural Nevada. The more education, access, hands-on that people can have, the better when it comes to emphasizing safety in shooting sports, certainly. And it's a great skill to have. It is a technical skill that requires great focus, concentration, and coordination.
Yes, and it's actually one of our biggest projects. We have a lot of members in shooting sports. You do have to be 9 to start the shooting sports project, but that's for safety.
Oh, yeah. And it's impressive. I've been to the Elko County shooting range because you have your own section out there, right?
Yes. Yeah. And they've done a lot with it. They keep it clean, and it's just very nice.
That's another important part of being a 4-H member or an adult volunteer or staff member is there's great stewardship and pride. There's a lot of accountability in this organization.
Yes, that's one of our big things is we want to make sure that our members are accountable, our volunteers, obviously, but it's something that's so important in life. And so accountability is definitely something that's taught, that's shown by example, so on and so forth.
Brittany, thanks so much. We've had a terrific visit today. And again, we hope that we've encouraged parents, caregivers, whether you're a grandparent, maybe you're a teacher in the community, just anybody who cares for youngsters, young adults. There are so many different social pressures in the world these days. It's nice to know that we have an organization like 4-H to help us with this kind of structure.
Yes, and I just want to put it out there again. If you are somebody who has a certain passion or expertise, we can use you, and you can really help a lot of children. So please contact me. And we have a volunteer process, just, again, for safety and that kind of thing. But it's very fulfilling to be able to help people like that.
And you can be any age or experience. I mean, obviously, you're also including retired people a lot of times, which is nice.
Yes, yeah. And that would be wonderful. If you maybe have some free time, come help us.
Brittany Marich is our Elko County 4-H coordinator. You can call 775-738-7291. Stop by the office at 701 Walnut Street, or email Brittany at bmarich@edu?
UNR.edu.
Thank you. bmarich, that's MARICH, at UNR.edu.
Yes, and please come by for a radon test kit. Like I said, it's prevalent in Nevada. It's something that needs to be talked about. Please share it with your friends. And these test kits are free. So please come by the office and get one, or more than one. You only need one for your house, but get some for your friends.
Thank you, Brittany. 701 Walnut Street. Get those free radon test kits while they last through the month of February. Thank you so much, listeners, for joining us for today's program. On behalf of Elko County, we've been featuring Brittany Marich. She's our Elko County 4-H coordinator. Thanks again for joining us for Elko Live today.